Hello there everybody, how's it going? I am the Timmeister and welcome back to the greater Timbukton region. In today's episode, guys, we're going to be hopping on over back into the city of Timbukton and we're going to start to work on the campus. Obviously with the campus DLC being just released, this is a perfect opportunity to begin the construction of the Institute of Timbukton, or whatever it's going to be called at the end of this project. I'll leave that up to you guys. So if you have any names for what is going to be the Institute of Timbukton, leave a comment down below. So essentially we're going to be working in this big square in this episode. The university is going to be about this size. I'm going to change a couple of things a little later in the series. I'd like to build some sort of community college and, to make use of maybe all three types of campuses. I'm not too sure yet. I'm not too fond of the liberal arts college, as I don't really find that the architecture matches Timbukton's kind of setting, but we'll try to make it fit somewhere if we can. So starting off, basically, my idea for this entire project is I want to build something similar to Dalhousie University in Halifax. So basing much of the city off of areas surrounding Halifax, and Dalhousie is kind of unique to its area as it's one of the oldest and biggest universities in Atlantic Canada. So everything is super compact, old style buildings with a mixture of more modern type buildings as well. So we're going to be sort of emulating that a little bit in Timbukton's university as well. You might see me struggling a little bit in this episode, plopping buildings and deleting them and plopping down some roads and stuff and reconfiguring everything as I go along, as this is pretty new to me, and it's kind of trial and error sometimes when building these huge projects. But I assure you, in the end, it looks awesome. So for the first thing that we have to get out of the way is the main building. I forget what the official name would be, as I myself did not go to university. I went to a community college, and what's kind of funny is in the States, community college is seen a little bit differently than in Canada. In the States, is like a community college the same thing as like a trade school? I'm not really sure, because a community college is essentially a trade school in Canada. So I'm really not sure how like the U.S. system works. It's kind of weird. Our system in Canada is a little bit more similar to European type systems, where you pretty much have like university, high school, your regular whatever. But anyways, let's not get into that. So yeah, essentially we have this main building right in the middle, and I created this nice avenue type thing that goes right up to the main building, similar to what you would find in Dalhousie. And around this sort of avenue will be all the main buildings, so like the library, whatever else we have available. I'm not really sure. I didn't really look at the names of each building. I just sort of plopped one of everything and plopped a bunch of dormitories at the end. So we got everything covered. Also, another thing that we have available to us, which I'm going to integrate into the university, is a medical research lab. So I believe the last building available in the university menu is some sort of Institute of Medical Science or something like that. I forget the exact name, but this is it right here. I'm plopping it down at the moment. and this is going to be integrated into the university, so it's going to be part of the campus. What I really like about this building, first of all, the building looks really great. It looks like, it doesn't even look vanilla at all, it looks like something you would find on the workshop. So a really great job on that to the City Skylines dev team. So yeah, I'm essentially going to be combining these two buildings here and making one giant sort of medical research lab as part of the university. And what's awesome as well is it gives the university that sort of mixture of that modern and old style buildings I was sort of looking for. So it fits in perfectly well here. What I think I might do maybe in the next episode or a little bit later in the series, I also like the way that the trade school buildings look like, as they look pretty modern compared to the regular university campus. So I may do like some sort of second attachment to the university with some more modern buildings. I'm not too sure yet. We might get into that a little later, but yeah, that's essentially what's going to maybe happen. And also, I think I made pretty good use of these parking lots here with the parking lot roads. I haven't been using them a ton in this series. I've mostly been plopping down some parking lots a lot throughout the series until now. But yeah, I mean, they just fit in right into the campus. And what's nice is we still have quite a bit of room. This is like a pretty big area. And, I was able to use them quite easily here. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think of the new campus DLC for those of you who have bought it. In my opinion, I'm loving it so far. The whole reputation system and how everything interacts with each other. I think it's just awesome. Everything integrates perfectly well into even like old saves and stuff. You're able to just, start where you were and plop down a university, and there you go. So everything is a-okay for me. The only thing that I dislike a little bit, like I said, is the liberal arts university, as it's not really my style. So I might not be plopping it down in Timbukton. However, I think, people won't really have a hard time finding a place for it, especially with people building like, I don't know, some sort of European city or whatever. The liberal arts college will fit in right perfectly with that. So for those of you who have not purchased the DLC yet, check down in the description of this video, as I have provided an affiliate link which allows you to purchase the DLC through me. Essentially, that gives me a little bit of commission, and like I said in the previous video, any money that comes in from the series will go back into the series, whether that be, anything whatsoever that I need to purchase, such as my monthly premium for the music that I use in my videos, or any hardware that I may need. So, any investment that goes into the channel, guys, I promise goes back into the channel. I assure you, I'm not making millions off of this channel. It's not something that I could quit my day job and do. I wish I could, I really do, because it's so much fun, but it's just not something that's going to happen. So yeah, back to the game. We're pretty much wrapping up all of the infrastructure portion of the university. So, in terms of buildings and stuff, most of what is going to go into the university is what you see right now. However, I will plop down a couple of filler buildings a little bit later, so like some administrative offices and stuff like that. But nothing too major. Also, another thing that I'm going to do in just a minute here is change all of the vanilla trees to workshop trees. Because in my opinion, and you guys probably share the same opinion, is whatever's available on the workshop looks a little bit better than what is offered in the vanilla game. They just add a little bit more detail and realism. So using the prop changer tool, I'm going to change all of the trees. Now, some of the trees, for some reason, wouldn't change to whatever I was setting them to. It's as if some of the trees are like built into the structure, and they just didn't register in the prop changer tool. So a little trick that I sometimes use when that happens is I'll just take some of the biggest trees I have on the workshop and just plop them over the vanilla trees, and for the most part it hides it well enough where you don't really notice it. So this is the university in its current state. As you can see, I plopped down a couple of things off camera there, simply for the fact that I forgot to press record on my recorder, but you didn't really miss much. So with all the building and stuff being complete, I'm going to start to detail the area, so add some park benches and, some minor things just to spruce up the area a little bit. And I just love this sort of grand entrance right up to the main building here. It's sort of like a big open space. I do end up cleaning up some of the trees as, zooming back down to street level. A lot of them sort of got in the way. So off camera, I ended up clearing a bunch of trees and adding some small bushes and stuff instead, just to get a more wider view of the entire area. I'm not really sure if it's noticeable at this game speed because everything is accelerated about 3 times normal speed, but I've done some cleaning up in my workshop inventory and deleted a whole bunch of assets and stuff that had way too many polygons and they were just taking up a little bit too much space, and I ended up taking out a couple of mods as well from my inventory. And one of those mods was the prop adaptive visibility tool or mod or whatever. And basically what that does is no matter how far you zoom out, any props and stuff should remain in your field of view. So for example, the big shipping port that we had built a couple of episodes ago, I could zoom out way out as far as I could go, and you were still able to see all of the little containers and cranes and whatever. Without that mod, you only need to zoom out like, I don't know, maybe like a kilometer-ish, like in-game distance, and everything just starts to disappear. Now, the reason I did that is since deleting that mod, my game performance has increased about 10 FPS. Now, as sad as that kind of sounds, it makes the game much more playable and honestly a lot more fun to play. It was kind of a hard pill to swallow, as that mod, sort of helped with the beautification of Timbukton and keep everything looking nice and realistic. Whereas now, you'll notice a little bit of glitchiness and stuff as I zoom in and out, especially when stuff starts to disappear. But I think it was a necessary step to take, as my game was starting to get to the point where it was almost unplayable. I was like when I had that mod installed, I was getting like 5-6 FPS at the most, and it was getting quite challenging, especially when building some bigger structures where you may need to zoom out a little farther. So I took the step and got rid of that mod, and my game performance is way better. But by way better, I mean it like runs at 15 FPS instead of 5 now, so it's not as if it's like a miraculous improvement. But it certainly feels that way, when you've been playing months and months at very, very low FPS. So my point is, Please forgive me if you see any like disappearing props and stuff on your screen. I know for a fact that the large fort that is right downtown Timbukton will disappear if you're zoomed out like not even very far. So save the comments, guys. I know, I'm aware of it. But for the time being, until, even like, until there's some way of fixing that issue, that'll just be the case. So yeah, at this point, we're pretty much wrapping up the university. I hope you guys are pretty satisfied with the way it turned out, as am I. There's still a little bit of work to do on it, which we will continue in the next episode. Maybe not the next episode, but it will be coming pretty soon, as, like I said, I want to add some sort of trade school or expand a little bit on the university. One thing that I would love to do as well is build a large-scale hospital in Timbukton. So in Halifax, you have what's called the IWK, and it's basically a huge pediatric hospital, and it's one of the most renowned in Eastern Canada, and I'm pretty sure it's the biggest. But I'd like to build something similar in Timbukton as well, and I think the trade school style buildings are a perfect fit for that. So if there's any way that I could sort of pretend that the trade school is some sort of hospital, then I think we could build something pretty cool in Timbukton. So stay tuned for that, guys. There's definitely some big, huge projects coming up. As for the next episode, I'm not too sure what I want to do. However, I've been thinking quite a while on redoing the waterfront. And by that, I mean basically filling in that sort of blank, boring spot that's right downtown and adding, some little shops and stuff, and, doing something that's similar to what you would find in Halifax waterfront or even like the Portland waterfront. So we'll see what we can do. I guess it sort of depends on what I feel like doing at that time. So anyways, stay tuned for that, guys. The next episode should be coming up shortly. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, and also be sure to subscribe to the channel for much more content on the way. And also, guys, just another reminder to check out my affiliate link down below if you guys want to purchase any game from Paradox Interactive. So with all that being said, guys, until the next episode, please take care.